Hi, I'm Aisha.
And I'm Gopindra.
We worked on the Artista app, which is a multiplayer drawing game that's based on Pictionary and Scribble.io. And it's a game where multiple players can join in a chat room and send pictures back and forth that they draw on the screen. And each player will try to guess what the other player's sketches are. And they'll be scored according to how quickly they can guess the answer. And then finally, they'll see the scores and find out how they matched against their friends. So we'll have the demo of the app.
Okay, now to starting the app, run, start app. So although the app works with just one phone, for the scoring system that we use to make sense for the game, at least 3 players should be involved. So that is what we are doing now. Here I have opened 2 emulators, and one of them is a Pixel 8, and this one is a Pixel 5, and both of them are using API 34. My teammate Ayesha will also be opening an emulator on her side, so we'll effectively be showing a 3-player game. Ayesha, are you ready with the emulator?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay. And so each player will be, they'll be shown this screen. This is the home page. And so for this app, so essentially it's an online game. And for this online game, one of the devices has to host the game, while the other devices would have to join the game. And that is how it happens. So one of the devices will sort of act like a server for the game. So I will use this Pixel 8 device to host the game. This and Ayesha's device will be joining the game. I will give her a name here. And this person will host the game. Now, if you try to join without a name, or even if you try to host without a name, you will be shown this snack bar asking you to enter a name. And I will put my name here and join. Oh, yeah. Wait. So when you join, to join the right game, the host will be shown. You can see that Ayesha has already joined. But to join the game, the host device will show a code, and the user will have to put that same code in, and they can join. And okay. Now we haven't placed any constraints on how many people can join. Logically, even thousands of people can join, but we are assuming that the host will be sensible enough to not invite 1,000 people to join. We have 3 players now, and now when I press the start button, after 3 seconds or 5, I think 3 seconds after the start button is pressed, all the device will be entered into the game. You will be shown a screen in which you can draw stuff, and one of the three devices will be randomly assigned the drawer status, and it's the job of the drawer to draw some word that would be shown to them, and it is the job of the other devices to guess what's the word. So first we'll focus less on the game and more on the functionality of the app. So I'm about to start the game. So after starting, after I press this button, in 2 seconds or 3 seconds, we'll start the game. And it begins now. Right now, it is this device's opportunity to draw, and the word that it should draw is grape. And this device and Ayesha's device is supposed to guess what I am drawing. And depending upon how fast they guess, they'll get points. So these are all the tools that you have to draw. And by default, the pencil tool will be selected. And I'm drawing what should be grapes. And as you can see, when I draw here, it is streamed to all the devices that are in the game. And others can try to guess. Oh yeah, there is also the chat functionality. We will come to that. We will first do the drawing thing, I guess. So you are given 60 seconds to draw the thing. And once the 60 seconds has passed, you can still draw, but you cannot make guesses anymore. And again, we are not concentrating on the game now, but okay, so that's the drawing thing. So, I suppose now it is Ayesha's turn to draw. Oh, that's something weird. Okay.
Yeah, so I can draw.
Okay, so maybe let's. Ayesha will be drawing something, and I'll try to guess what it is. What it is? Spider? No. Bug. Oh, it's a 4-letter word. Crab. That's it. Yes, I guessed it.
Oh,
So
nice guess.
yeah. So once all the guessers have guessed the answer, you don't have to wait the 60 seconds. You can just, guess. It's done. So yeah. So Gopindra and Nair guessed that answer. Coming back to the drawing. So anyway, it's this player's turn to draw stuff. He has to draw a pizza, I guess. So yeah. So the pencil thing is there. Another tool we have is the eraser. With the eraser, you can erase stuff. Now, if you accidentally erase too much, we can undo the erasing, or we can redo the erasing. So that is there. And we also have a clear all button. And this is kind of ultimate. Like once you do clear all, you cannot even undo, redo, or anything. You have to draw starting from scratch. So I believe I have discussed most things about the drawing. And another interesting thing is the view scaling. So it's not simply recording the XY coordinates and transmitting to all the devices. It's actually transmitting the it's assuming like if the height is 0 to 1 and if the width is 0 to 1, it is transmitting that information. This is necessary because this phone, this Pixel 8 and Pixel 5 has different resolutions. So if I directly transfer the XY coordinates, what I draw here would appear smaller on the Pixel 8, and what I draw here would appear smaller on the Pixel 8, and the opposite the other way. So, but we do some scaling in between the transfer so that in both devices it appear with the same size. This is much more obvious when you try to chat. So when I try to chat here, this area has shrunk, but still it is squeezing in all the stuff that I'm drawing here. So that is the mainly what is there regarding the drawing stuff. Now, Ayesha, would you like to continue about the chat features?
Sure. So we already discussed it a little bit, and you can see the different chat messages appearing. So the chat messages are also part of the Firebase schema where you have multiple collections. So Gopindra's discussed the drawing section, which is one type of collection that we have. And so the chat messages are also going to another collection in the same database schema in our Firebase database. And so the chat messages, if you can see, it shows it's in a recycler view format, and it shows information about the sender and the message. And in addition, there is also special messages that you can see. So for example, when you guess the correct word, you can see that it shows up in a green highlighting and it shows that you guessed the correct word, but also it's hiding the correct word from other users so that other people can still have a chance to guess and get a score before the time runs out. So I'll also demonstrate what happens when this is currently my turn to guess, but I'm going to try to type the answer.
No, your turn to draw.
Yeah, my turn to draw. And I type the answer, and you can see that it shows that the drawer shouldn't reveal the answer, and it still keeps the answer hidden. So there's different functionality in the chatting to also check for the right answer and to make sure that it's not being revealed prematurely. So in addition to that, you can yep, and also an important thing is that you can see that the chat messages are coming in a continuous flow. And so in order to make sure that when you send a new message, you can immediately go to the most recent one, it'll automatically scroll to the bottom of the chat messages, as Gopindra will show you. So yeah, automatically goes to the bottom. In addition to that, there's also the timer functionality that you can see that's in the top right of the screen. So there's a couple of different ways that we handle the timer. So one is the timer in the top right, which is showing the countdown. In addition, there's different delays that are built into the app so that when the timer counts down, it automatically triggers the transitioning to the information screen, which shows the information about the scores. And so, as we mentioned briefly earlier, if you time out, it'll automatically go to the info screen. And if if all of the players correctly guess the answer, it'll also end the timeout. It'll end the timer early.
So now we will see a case where it goes till timeout. And I think the next one we can all guess very fast so that the round goes very quickly. Oh, but
there we go. The game is ending. Nice.
Okay. So this is the ending screen. There's nothing stopping you from quitting to go back to the main screen. And when you go back to the main screen, your name is still there. It won't be there if you close the app, but if you are within the same app, the name will be there. And I can just host another game to show the little bit more of functionality that we have. I mean, we didn't show the early finish, I guess. So just for the early finish. Host game again. The code is 199122. Join 199. Oh, by the way, if you don't put the correct code, I'll show what happens. So first, if you don't put enough characters, it will say to enter a 6-digit code 199122 or 123. Suppose I put fail to join the room. So essentially, it will. We'll show how it is done later, but if you don't put the correct one, it will fail to join the room. So you join the correct one. Aisha. Okay. And we will start again. So now we will, okay, so now this person is drawing and others have to guess violin is so, yes, so we will all guess right. So there is 45 seconds left on the timer, but if everybody guessed correctly, it won't wait that long. It will just go 2 seconds after the guess comes. I should also guess, so now it will transition. Look, more than 2 seconds, but okay, it transitioned. And shower. Okay, maybe guess shower. Did you guess?
Yep. And maybe we can also show the functionality where if the if the word is guessed after the timer runs out, there's also an additional special message.
Oh yeah, these are a little bit harder to reach because so there is usually after timeout, there is just a grace period of 2 seconds. I mean, just so that things don't happen immediately one after the other. So in that grace period of 2 seconds, if you guess, you won't get any points for it, but it will show that you guessed correctly. What is you have the word? What is the word?
The word is fire hydrant.
Okay, fire hydrant. No, I will guess right after the timeout happens. Yeah, you will just get, you will see the message after this. So no, first of all, yeah, guess the correct word, but not on time. That doesn't give you any score. So I think that covers all the functionality.
Hi, so this is part 2 of the Artista game demo. So this is following up after we just finished playing our game. So you can see on our screen, we have the emulator instance showing the conclusion of our last game. And so the purpose of this video is to go over the Firebase database so that you can see like what is actually going on, the magic that's going on behind the scenes. Okay, so Gopinka just opened up the Firebase database, and specifically, we're looking at the schema from our last game. So this has the same stats and the same players as the game that we just finished playing. So the database starts with the games collection. And so this is the collection that has all of the different chat rooms that have been created for the game. And so you can see that second one that's highlighted is the specific one for the game we played. And so what happens is that the host player creates a new chat room with a unique UUID. And then each player that joins uses the joining code in order to be able to join the game with a specific ID. And so inside each game room, you can see that there's one document that shows the game state. So that's the one that's on the lower right corner. And so that has various fields, like the ID of the player that's currently drawing and the status of the game that transitions from starting to in progress to the beginning of the round to finished. And it also has information like the word that's being guessed, and the IDs of the players. And so this particular document is updated as the game continues and progresses. And so all of the apps that are listening will listen for changes to this document in order to know what's the state of the game. And so in addition to this document, there's also a few collections inside of the chat room. So the first one at the top is messages. And messages has different chat messages that are being sent as the game is playing. So inside the messages collection, each chat message is sent as a unique document that has its own unique ID. And each message has information such as whether the correct answer has been guessed, the data that's in the message, and whether it should be shown depending on whether it has the answer or not. And so all of these are used in order for the app to get information and correctly display the chat messages. Now, Gopinjar will also go over a couple of the fields, which are the players, and we will show a live demo of the drawings.
Okay, so to make this more clear, we will show these things being created as and when we play the game. So once again, maybe for this, should we do 2-device demo or 3-device demo?
2 should be okay.
Okay. So the game doesn't actually make sense. The scoring doesn't actually make sense for 2 devices, but for demonstration purposes, we'll just do it with 2 devices. So let me just start it up again. Okay. So this okay. So when I click host game, a new document should be added here. Sometimes this website doesn't refresh on time. Hopefully it refreshes on time and we'll be able to see the changes, but let's see. When I click this host game, a new document should be added. Oh, this one is I believe this one was added just now. And right now the game is in the searching player state. Other players can join the game only when it is in the searching player state. And you also can see the code for joining the game here, also here. And right now, the only player that is there is the host. So host ID is the same as the player who is already there. And the player collection is also just the host ID. Okay. Now I will create a new person, Nair, and he will join the game. And he has to give the correct code, which is 416823. When I click join, it will search inside all the games for a game where the status is searching for players and the code is this one. And when it finds that game, it will add itself to the player database. The host will be constantly listening to this player collection. The host will be constantly listening to the player collection, and when it sees that a new person has added himself, the host will edit this document. Only the host can edit this document. All the players will be, even inside the host, even inside the device that is hosting, there is a separate player entity which is constantly looking at this document, and all the updates to the screen are based on how this document changes. The player's status can be updated by both the host and the players. So let me join this. So this guy got added. The host will listen to it and it should appear here too. does it not happen immediately or sometime? I think it may happen only when I press start, but let's see. Oh, yeah, this can sometimes happen. Let me just come over there again. Oh yeah, see, this is the game again, and yeah, this is the game again, and there are two people added here. I guess if this document doesn't get up, I mean, on this browser, it doesn't get updated as soon as we want it to, but essentially that's how it's happened. Now, when I press the start button, it will change to a starting state, and after that, it will go to a game state when the game actually begins. So let's do that. Should be in a starting state and it should be in a game state, but unfortunately, these things are not getting updated on time. So let's just do it. I mean, now it should be in the game state, but we cannot see it. Okay, yeah. I guess you have to refresh. It's in the game state, and the word that this person should try to guess is shark. And the drawing player is, I suppose, yeah, this one. Drawing player ID is the same as host. If you remember, we started hosting from this phone, and this is also the drawing ID. Now the players can make, so right now we don't have a messages collection. So if you start sending messages, there will also be a messages collection. Again, it's not updated real time here, unfortunately, but if you go here, you can see there is this new message that I sent. Hi. It's not the correct answer. It is not the drawer trying to reveal the answer. The sender is Nair, and this is the timestamp. That's all the information that is needed to show messages. And essentially, the player also the player device also updates the player states. So if I think this is the host, right? Yeah. If the host guesses the correct answer, it will report back to this collection that it did get the correct answer, and it will also give the time to guess. By default, the time to guess is set as -1 or 61 based on whether the person was drawing or guessing. So 61 is also an invalid number because in our app, there are only 60 seconds available. So usually 61 means the person was not able to guess. So right now, let me just guess correctly. This person will guess correctly, and it will change. So he took 52 seconds to guess, and the score he had was, I mean, for guessing in 52 seconds, he gets the score of 13. So that's the total score. In the last round, he added a score of 13, and his total score is also 13. Now he is drawing. Now this person can make a guess and update the scores. He will guess Cano correctly. And yeah, it was round 2, sub round 1. He guessed correctly in 25 seconds, and his scores are these now. So that is how the player thinks happening, and essentially what should be shown on the screen is determined by what is shown inside this document, specifically this game status field. I'll try to show it again. Hopefully it updates on time, but essentially when you go away from this game screen to the info screen, this thing should change to info. And when this thing changes to info, that indicates to all the listening player devices that the scores have been updated. So it should get all the player scores and update the player and show all the player scores on the info screen. So maybe I'll just give the correct answer here, and it should go in 2 seconds. It should go to info screen, and the players will show the info screen. Show info. It will, yeah, it became show info. It went here. Now again it will go to game. Oh, but the game finished, so I guess it won't go to game. And when it becomes finished, it reveals the I mean, what happened in the game. And you know, when in a two-player game, you know, I mean, both the players will have the same score, because the drawer is given based on a score based on how quickly the guesser predicts the answer. and the guesser is given a score based on how quickly he figured out the drawing. So if there's only one guesser and one drawer, they'll always get the same score. So it will always be a tie. So this game makes sense only if there are at least 3 players. But I mean, just for demonstration purposes, I showed with just 2 devices. And that is, I didn't show one very important thing. Another, the main thing is the drawing. So I'll start another game to show how the drawing works. Join, start. So when you draw something, there will be a new collection made called drawing. Again, which did not appear here. But if you see, this usually should happen. Oh, by the way, we started a new game. So I am not sure what was the ID of the game. Yeah, I am not sure which one is good. Oh yeah, this one has drawing, so it's probably this one. So yeah, so this is the drawing collection. So whenever you draw something, stuff will be added to this. You drew another thing. You drew another thing. You do another thing. Now, if you press the undo button, the things that were added later will disappear. And if you do redo, those things will be put back there again. And if you do clear, it will lose everything. That's why the undo and redo does not work after clearing. You can figure it doesn't have to be like that, but this implementation is, that's how it works. So, okay, now, I mean, it always goes to the same thing. And when the round changes, it will automatically clear all the stuff that is here. Even when you erase, it is essentially saved as a erase stroke. So the information of a drawing stroke that is saved is, one, what are the coordinates in terms of 0 to 1 of, like, going from top to bottom, and left to right is going from 0 to 1. So it will store the coordinates. It will also store first coordinates separately to make certain some parts easier to write. And also it will store whether it's an erase action or a pen action. So if it's a pen thing, if you drew with a pen, it will show that it's a draw action. If you did something with erase, it will store as an erase action. And of course you can undo, redo, like I said. That is basically how the drawing works. Now this will all be cleared when the state transitions. Yeah, that is all. That is how the Firebase part of all this works.